I do come up with a number. Here's where I would impart knowledge to those that aren't fluffy. To enjoy all of life's pleasures, you must be younger than 250. Jelly Roll used to be simple to identify since he was large, had facial tattoos, spoke in a raspy voice, and exuded a presence that seemed entirely genuine. His admirers referred to him as the man who showed his suffering by turning every difficult moment into a heartfelt song. However, things changed. When he appeared on stage, in a film, or at an event, people were taken aback. Something had changed, but he was still there. All the marks were still there, and the voice was still the same. He felt different, though. He had changed appearance. He felt something else. From the great names in country music to the underground rap scene, everyone was behind him. Did the body undergo any changes? A shift in perspective? His tunes? Jelly Roll had changed, but there was no consensus on how it had occurred. Launching a profession. Jason DeFord, better known as Jelly Roll, was born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee's Antioch neighborhood. His youth wasn't the best. His mother struggled with mental health issues and substance abuse, while his father had a meat and bookkeeping business. Jelly Roll was 14 years old at the time. However, he was also apprehended that same year. 10 years of going to and from jail began with that. He was accused of several things. However, he reformed in there and earned his GED at the age of 23. Jelly Roll began her career in hip-hop, taking cues from well-known southern rap artists UGK and 3 6 Mafia. He began selling mixtapes out of his car, and his debut album, The Plain Schmear Tape, was released in 2003. From 2004 to 2011, he released The Gamblin' on a White Boy mixtape series. He collaborated with Lil White on the 2010 single, Pop Another Pill, which became a huge smash and received over 6 million views on YouTube. That win gave the group SNO a boost. As the years passed, Jelly Roll continued to release recordings and mixtapes and collaborated with musicians such as Struggle Jennings, Haystack, and Tech 9. His single cassette was initially titled Whiskey, Weed, and Waffle House. He modified the name to Whiskey, Weed, and Women and, for fun, added Cease and Desist on the cover after Waffle House issued him a letter urging him to stop. He broke down in tears during his 2023 CMT Music Awards speech, telling the audience, "I'm proof that you can change." He claimed that the award was for everyone who needs a second chance, amid a roar of applause. Many have since notified him on social media that his transformation affected others besides himself. This is for the underdogs. That wasn't a speech about music, it was about hope and redemption. In short, it was more than just a smaller figure that was revealed. It was an image of a man reclaiming his future, not just for himself but also for his loved ones and all broken souls clinging to hope. Jelly Roll's story sounds like it belongs in a movie, even though it isn't finished yet. Previously selling mixtapes from his vehicle, he now testifies across the United States and stands in front of thousands of applauding fans. U.S. Senate. His past prevents most individuals from ever being able to say that. However, the fact that he has remained true to it is what truly sets his journey apart. He never made an effort to pretend to know everything or to conceal the extent of his suffering. Instead, he connected with those who felt unheard by using his voice, songs, and even his personal struggles. He's not attempting to be flawless. He desires to develop. Change doesn't need to be ostentatious, it only needs to be genuine, as Jelly Roll consistently demonstrates. In order to maintain his health, he walks a bit further each day and creates music that gets to the core of your being. His heart is what really sets him apart, regardless of his level of notoriety, accolades, or admirers. He demonstrates that regardless of your background, you can always alter your story. Jelly Roll isn't going to slow down anytime soon, that much is certain. Whether it's music, activism, or simply improving himself, he's constantly taking on new challenges. He is living evidence that genuinely significant changes occur inside as well as outside. They originate from within. The incredible journey of Jelly Roll touched us. For more powerful stories like these, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. We're going to give you a lot more in-depth peeks behind-the-scenes glimpses, and real-life changes. To be informed, click that bell sign as well. Simply wait for the next one if you want to see more. In November 2021, Jelly Roll made her debut at the Grand Ole Opry. He had his first rock radio #1 with Dead Man Walking in 2022, and Craig Morgan invited him back to sing Almost Home. By 2023, his country hit Son of a Sinner had reached the top of several charts. He also won numerous CMT awards that year and sold out Nashville's Bridgestone Arena. In June 2023, his 9th studio album, Whitsett Chapel, was released. He continued to be active in 2024. He appeared in Eminem's song video, performed on Saturday Night Live, received the CMA New Artist of the Year award, addressed Congress about the risks of fentanyl, and even made a cameo on Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. His song, Hard-Fought Hallelujah, won him a K-Love Award in 2025 alongside Christian musician Brandon Lake. Where Did You Get That? He was also featured on Shaboozey's popular song, Amen. I Will Not Return to My Previous Location. Second chances certainly occur and may lead to the grandest stages in the world, as demonstrated by Jelly Roll's journey from rap battles to the Grand Ole Opry. Marriage and family. Jelly Roll's gritty voice and rugged attitude belie a man who longs for family and love. He has been married to Alyssa DeFord, also known on social media as Bunny XO, since 2016. Their relationship is different from most others. It's genuine and honest since we've developed and learnt from one another for decades. Bunny and Jelly Roll were both going through difficult times prior to their meeting. However, they somehow found solace and support in one another. Being flawless was not as important to them as supporting one another through everything. Over time, they became more than just husband and wife, but genuine pals in the real world. 7 years after their marriage, in 2023, they recited their vows to demonstrate how much their love had grown. That lovely moment demonstrated their progress and their desire to live out the rest of their lives together. Jelly Roll frequently discusses how Bunny has improved his quality of life. In his personal life, she has supported him through both good and difficult times. By taking him under her wing, she has shaped him into the man he is today. Bunny has supported, encouraged, and kept him grounded for him both on the red carpet and behind the scenes. Family is everything to Jelly Roll. And it's particularly evident with regard to his children. 2 of his children from past relationships are his. He speaks about his son less frequently and his daughter lives with him and Bunny full-time. As you can see, Bunny and Jelly Roll share ownership of their daughter. Together, they adore, look after, and educate her. Jelly Roll doesn't talk much about his children on the internet, but it's obvious that he adores them. Being a father has not been easy for him. He has had many hardships in the past. He has, however, been candid about the fact that he changed his life in large part because of his daughter. After becoming a father, he was inspired once more because he realized he had a legitimate cause to fight for. Ultimately, popularity and ostentation have never been the focus of Jelly Roll's family life. To recover, develop, and be there for those that are closest to him. Developing faith. Jelly Roll has experienced a setback in her life. However, one of the most admirable aspects of his life might be his return to faith. It had been a while since he had thought of faith. He didn't feel near it, on the opposite. Given his difficult upbringing, struggles with addiction, incarceration, and several personal demons, it is not unexpected that his connection with God had soured. He avoided religion for a long time because it made him feel more judged than loved. However, something changed when he was 39. He had no intention of that happening. His daughter, who is 14 years old, was the first. She declared her desire to be baptized in front of him. His initial response was complete shock. I should go see what kind of cult she's going to, Jelly Roll says now, because that's how he perceived religion at the time, as something alien and unusual. However, an odd thing occurred when he did choose to accompany her to church. He was neither uneasy or condemned as he watched his daughter play with her pals. Rather, he experienced a tangible sensation. He claimed that it served as a reminder of what matters most: forgiveness, kindness, humanity, and compassion. It wasn't about being flawless or according to the rules. It was about living and falling in love. On that day, Jelly Roll began a minor but important transformation. He believed that being truthful didn't mean altering who he was, and he put it best in a 2025 interview. "I might wear it a little differently than other people, but at the end of the day, I have a heart for God and I have a heart for Jesus." It required reconnecting with something greater than himself. It required being kinder, being a better man than he wanted to be, and making up for past wrongs. The fact that Jelly Roll's faith was restored without coercion is what makes it so alluring. It happened because of love. It wasn't until he seen his daughter discover her faith that he realized he needed it. His faith now plays a significant role in his mental and physical health, in addition to his musical healing. Speaking in the United States, U.S. Senate. Jelly Roll has played on some of the world's largest stages. He did, however, visit the U.S. Senate in 2024, not to perform or accept a prize. He talked from the heart, both as an artist and as someone who experienced the most agonizing aspects of the drug problem. He testified before the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs in support of Senator Tim Scott's Fend-Off Fentanyl Act. This measure aims to combat the escalating fentanyl epidemic in the U.S., which has claimed countless lives and destroyed families on a daily basis. Jelly Roll knew what he had to say was crucial because he had previously been involved in that issue. His speech was honest, unvarnished, and profoundly poignant. He told the truth about his past. "I hurt my community," he said, addressing the lawmakers. "I hurt people. I was the dumb person in the kitchen, experimenting with drugs I didn't know about while posing as a scientist." He discussed his youthful follies, such as combining and selling narcotics, which unintentionally put others in risk. He's shown a great deal of grief, but maybe more significantly, he felt compelled to assist in repairing what he had contributed to destroying. The most compelling aspect of his story was its authenticity. He wasn't attempting to memorize lines from a script or be flawless. He was simply being himself, honest, forthright, and enthusiastic. "I want to help stop fentanyl from killing more people the way it had killed so many in my area right away," he stated in his speech to the senators. That Senate day demonstrated just how much Jelly Roll has grown. He is no longer merely a man with a bad past and a history of addiction. He is now a change agent who stands up for others who are still in pain. He is one of the few artists who can transform their suffering into something constructive. When Jelly Roll told his story to lawmakers, he demonstrated that change is possible. Change has the power to alter everything at times. His prior issues and incarceration. Jelly Roll had numerous significant legal issues prior to his rise to fame in the music industry. When he was 14 years old, he was first arrested. His initial arrest marked the beginning of a protracted and difficult period in his life, during which he spent almost 10 years in and out of jail. He was imprisoned for numerous offenses in his teens and early 20s, including some really serious ones including narcotics possession, burglary, and armed robbery. Jelly Roll said in a very intimate interview on the Jay Shetty podcast that he had robbed a store at the age of 15 while brandishing a gun. He is still bothered by this. He said, "There was no logic to what I did," demonstrating his recklessness and impetuosity at the time. One day, he even felt compelled to apologize to his victims, acknowledging that it had taken him years to completely comprehend the harm his actions had caused them. His transgressions were more than a single day's thoughtless errors. He was repeatedly reincarcerated for drug-related offenses, such as possession with intent to distribute. Jelly Roll was candid in an interview on how insane, egotistical, and self-centered his life was at the time. He was harming not only himself but also those around him and society at large. Jelly Roll had become accustomed to spending a lot of time behind bars throughout his incarceration. He was incarcerated for the most of his late teens and early 20s due to the numerous crimes he committed. He has discussed how, at the time, he saw no other option and that, as a result, being incarcerated nearly became the norm for him. Those were the years of conflict, mayhem, and survival. Jelly Roll's past is replete with unpleasant realities that he makes no effort to conceal, such as combining substances without realizing the risks or committing crimes out of perplexity and desperation. Before he became well known, he had a difficult life filled with suffering, criminal activity, and lengthy incarceration. More severe forms of cyberbullying and criticism. Jelly Roll quit using social media in 2024 after receiving a lot of negative feedback regarding his physique. The internet taunts about his weight were too much for him to take, according to his wife, Bunny XO. He is so tired of being bullied about his effing weight, she claimed on her Dumb Blonde program and then on TikTok, which is why Jelly Roll left the internet. I was moved by her candor and openness when she added, "It hurts him." Page 6, The Independent, TMZ, and other news outlets checked the story, but she said, "No the F, we're not. People may believe that celebrities shouldn't give a damn about comments." His mental well-being was more important to him than maintaining his online celebrity. Bunny referred to him as the sweetest angel baby. He was deeply wounded by everything that was going wrong, as reported on page 6. It was also disclosed on People that he had shed almost 70 pounds while preparing for a 5K. However, that was insufficient to prevent cruel remarks from trolls. He initially made it a personal goal to run 2 to 3 miles each day and use saunas and cold plunges to stay in shape, but the hurtful remarks soon eclipsed his gains. The stress eventually caused him to stop using Instagram, X, previously Twitter, and other networks. Flavor Flav and others backed Jelly Roll in April 2024. Bunny makes her point very clear: everyone deserves to be treated with kindness, and people should never have to hide because of online bullying. One fan wrote on Reddit, "One of the nicest men in the world, the internet is so mean." What happened to him was a harsh reminder that bullying on social media can hurt a person deeply, no matter how tough or successful they are. File a lawsuit against a brand. Jason DeFord, whose real name was Jelly Roll, 2 syllables, was sued in April 2024 by a wedding band in Pennsylvania called Jelly Roll, 1 word. The situation became intriguing. Kurt Tichenel founded the wedding band, which has gone by that name since the 1980s. It was updated in 2019 after being trademarked in 2010. On April 8, they filed a lawsuit in federal court in Philadelphia, claiming that they were the original owners of the name and that it was difficult for others to discover them, particularly on Google, because of singer Jelly Roll's pop bubble. When searching for Jelly Roll prior to the case, the wedding band would be the first result. There were then 18 to 20 references for the singer before there were any for the band. The complaint also claimed that the singer's name was causing problems for customers. They were concerned that their business and reputation would suffer if customers hired the incorrect Jelly Roll for events. The group really claimed that the singer's criminal past damaged their reputation, claiming that his previous felony conviction and jail sentence had further damaged their reputation. The group requested that the court prohibit Jason DeFord from using the term Jelly Roll or any similar name. They tried to resolve the issue out of court by sending each other a letter in February ordering each other to cease, but their efforts were unsuccessful. However, it took a different turn by July 2024. The wedding band made the independent decision to end the lawsuit. They declared that the issue had been resolved and that they were content to continue going by their name. Although there was an agreement, the court documents did not reveal a formal settlement. Jelly Roll's attorneys have yet to comment. Following this brief but contentious court case, there was a lot of discussion regarding name rights, branding, and the impact that a company's internet presence can have. The wedding band was adamant about preserving their reputation despite Jelly Roll's immense fame. Both sides ultimately emerged with their names still attached. Remarks on his songs and look. Many people adore Jelly Roll's tragic tales and how they can be incorporated into both country and hip-hop music. Not everyone, though, is a fan. His success, according to some critics, particularly on Reddit, is more about evoking strong emotions in listeners than creating musically pleasing songs. It seems like a simple and lazy approach to earn clicks. As one commenter on r/unpopular opinion put it, "I feel like now that he's switched to country, he's just putting out music he knows will be a hit." This viewpoint is an illustration of a more general critique. Some individuals think that rather than being genuinely inventive, he purposefully caters to both rap and country listeners in order to maximize his earnings. However, there are a few threads on r/country music stuff that discuss the same issues. He seems like a wonderful man. One participant acknowledged that they liked him as a person but added, "Couldn't agree more. I shudder at rap country. I think he might be a one and done." Another person said it bluntly, "He's a joke that won't last long." According to this type of criticism, he is overly popular since his songs are played on the radio and in churches far too frequently. One of them remarked, "I don't think he has any talent, and his music is just not good." Some people also complained that his voice was poor and the music was uninteresting, although they thought his songs were repetitive and contained many themes of personal suffering and recovery. "The songs all sound a bit alike," one reader commented, while another observed, "The music isn't creative or original, and the lyrics aren't very deep or complicated. Although it's a fantastic narrative, I believe it goes a touch too far." Even worse things have been said on other websites. "It appears to be a country pit bull." Someone on r/allOurmusic commented, "The real criminals are turds like Jelly Roll, who couldn't be more stupid if he tried." Not everyone agrees with you, despite your powerful words. Even if they don't enjoy his music, some admirers appreciate his honesty and strong emotions. His funds. Since he began earning money, Jelly Roll has advanced significantly. He is valued roughly $16 million as of mid-2025, according to Celebrity Net Valued, which is a significant increase from the $1 million he was worth only a few years prior. The remarkable ascent originates from numerous sources. The majority of his income comes from traveling and doing live performances. He has been the star of several tours, including the Beautifully Broken Tour in 2023 and the Backroad Baptism Tour. He will perform with Post Malone at arenas in 2025. These performances frequently sell out stadiums and other venues, generating millions of dollars in ticket sales. Music streams and sales also generate consistent revenue. Whitsitt Chapel and Beautifully Broken are two of his tracks that have peaked at the top of the charts. At first, Whitsitt Chapel even topped the Billboard 200. His songs have received over 2 billion views on YouTube, earning him at least $3.4 million from the sales of the video alone. According to websites like Pandora and Spotify, he earns almost $360,000 annually from Spotify plus an additional $1.3 million over the radio. Selling t-shirts, coats, hats, and other items at performances and on their website helps Jelly Roll earn a respectable living in addition to their music. Consideration should also be given to a social media account. He makes money from his YouTube advertising. According to some, he earned roughly $2 million in a year from YouTube. He has a large following on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, so brand collaborations and sponsorships may also increase his income. In addition, he is entering the business world. He reportedly established his own record label, purchased a Nashville home, and even amassed a collection of pricey vehicles. Based on his earnings from tours, merchandising, YouTube, sponsorship deals, and real estate, some sources estimate his net worth to be between $10 and $12 million. However, his massive multi-platform sales are consistent with the most realistic estimate of $16 million. All things considered, what began as a car-based mixtape business has grown into a vibrant and prosperous enterprise. Jelly Roll generates revenue via commercial collaborations, social media, streaming, touring, fundraising, and item sales. There is evidence that he is doing extremely well and not simply getting by. Everyone was surprised by the transformation in their bodies. Jelly Roll's rapid and drastic weight loss astounded her fans. He pledged to get well after experiencing a couple health scares in early 2023. He didn't reveal to Jimmy Kimmel Live that he had shed about 200 pounds and was now weighing roughly 357 pounds until April 2025. Jelly Roll claimed that eating high-protein meals, vegetables, taking walks, and generally living clean was the reason behind Kimmel's joke that he had shed a 200 pounds mark. Prior to that, in 2024, he achieved a significant goal. He shed 110 pounds by quitting his unhealthy habits and beginning to exercise, go to saunas, take cold plunges, and eat better. He exercised daily, either walking or running 2 to 3 miles. He also boxed and played hoops while on tour. He completed his first 5K in May 2024. By March 2025, another significant shift had occurred. His wife, Bunny XO, even told him that his new chest hair demonstrated the extent of his physical transformation. He has made no secret of the fact that he can now walk mountains, something he was previously unable to do. In late 2024, he told his wife that he hoped to appear on the cover of Men's Health by March 2026 and that no one would be able to identify him. Shocked fans and media have questioned in comment streams, is that even him? It's more than simply a figure. He has more vitality overall, his face looks better, and he stands up taller. Goodbye, sweaty, smoky large guy on stage. Even while he still goes by Jelly Roll, he has a totally different appearance and demeanor. Jelly Roll has often stated that living is more important than losing weight in appearances on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Taste of Country, and The Bobby Bones Show. One day, he hopes to run marathons, skydive, ride a bull, and, yes, fight an alligator. The fact that he has remained loyal to himself is what most motivates me. Hype and easy ways don't exist. You must be disciplined, work hard, and genuinely desire to live. The images demonstrate the extent of the transformation, which even astonished some who witnessed it. What changed most about Jelly Roll? For Jelly Roll, changing more than just his appearance was a matter of life or death. He discussed a significant health scare that woke him up in late 2022 on the Full Send podcast. He came to the realization that he needed to quit living in the fast lane if he wanted to live to see his daughter grow up. Things started to alter at that point. He states unequivocally that he hopes to live longer for his daughter and eventually fulfill his dream of becoming a father. He also discussed in the same interview how he used to get anxious and exhausted before performing on stage, but now he trains like a jock. He regularly went on long walks, went camping, and boxed. Routines to develop a life outside of music, not to flaunt.